right. Welcome to Culture and Cannabis Podcast, episode 11. My name's JC Coates. I'll be your host today with my guy, my ace, full-time Tony. What's good, Tony?
Yo. What's up? What's going on, fam?
Man, it's so much is going on, right? Autumn is here. October's basically here. Summer's coming to a close. I mean, our shows are coming to a season close next month, right? It's like there's so much stuff going on. Where can we get started? But here we are, episode 11.
What we got today?
We got a very, very special guest. Dianne is here in the building. She's the marketing director for Jackpot, Nevada, Chalice, RSO+GO, right? A bunch of brands there. So we're really excited to jump into this conversation today.
Definitely. So Dianne, let's just jump right into it. So you are a boss lady in the industry. I don't know if bitch is the appropriate word to say. I don't know how you feel about
babe,
it.
Hashtag.
Boss babe in the industry. And cannabis is slowly becoming, or very fast becoming, a very woman-dominant industry. Why do you think that is?
I think a lot of the times, the products that we have cater to women in terms of anxiety, in terms of, cramps, things like that. And so there's a lot of play with that. And with our new product, Chalice Farms, with our edible line, we're really hoping to achieve a lot of feminine energy into the scene.
Do you think that, I think I saw a stat that says something like cannabis has the most amount of women CEOs in an industry. Do you think that's because of the products, or do you think that's because of the culture?
I think it's something to the plant. It's a female plant, and it's the only one that has the buds. The male plant has the ones to reciprocate the buds, and so, it stems from that. And there's a lot of things in terms of where it comes from too. So
and we have a lot of female listeners, and so as a female yourself, how did you move up into a director position like what you're in today?
I asked for it. Yeah, I was in sales in Washington, and there was a sales team of 7, and we had to keep performing in terms of our sales numbers, and I just really performed in terms of capturing my audience and making sure that I'm educating the public about our products. And so when Nevada came up, when it was legalized in 2017, I asked for the job, and I got it. And as a woman, you kind of have to ask for those things. You don't necessarily get it granted to you or given to you. And so I felt like, this is my turn to stand up as a woman, to just really show that I know what I'm doing, and that's basically how I got it.
Let's back it up, Rim.
Yeah.
So you said Washington, right? So how long have you been in the cannabis industry? Totally.
I've been in the cannabis industry since 2015,
Nice.
and I actually have a pretty crazy story of how I got into it.
Let's hear it.
Let's dive in.
Yeah.
So back in 2009, I got into a really bad accident. And it kind of stems from me being a woman in terms of what happened. And so what happened was I was in San Francisco, and I fell out of a 3rd-story window. And that happened because I was drugged. My drink was drugged with a gateway drug called GHB. And what happened after I fell was I shattered my right ankle, I compressed my my T1 vertebrae, and I severely bruised my tailbone. And so it was this really traumatic experience that really led me to believe that cannabis was medicine. I was bedridden for about 16 weeks, which is about 4 months. I, did a lot of painkillers in terms of opiates. I did Percocet. That was my kind of drug of choice because it took the pain away. But with pain, it changes you, right?
Yeah.
And with opiates, it kind of masks that pain. It doesn't take the source away. And so once I started taking the medicine, it really disrupted my digestive system. I couldn't eat properly. So when I started thinking about other alternative ways, that's when I found cannabis. People were like, why don't you get your medical card and see what it can do for you? And before this, I did cannabis. I did it recreationally. My first time was hotboxing when I was 16 in Ocean Beach with some high school friends. I won't plug who those people were. Good times. Second instance of using cannabis. Exactly. Second instance was in college, crossfading. I failed with that, but I'm an expert now.
Yeah, the expert CrossFit.
And then, the third time was from this accident. So I really did a lot of research when I was recovering. I read a lot of books. I went to the internet, and I really found how cannabis could be medicine, and that's what's really propelled me to be here today. That's why I'm in the industry, because I really believe in its therapeutic benefits.
So the accident happens, and that's in what, 2015? You said that happens, 2014?
It happened in 2009.
Oh, 2009.
Yeah.
So you're dealing with the pain. You're using cannabis, and so when did you realize? Obviously you joined the cannabis industry in 2015. When did you realize, this? I want to make my living off this plant. Not only am I gonna, use it as my medicine, but I also want to provide it as a medicine to other people.
I found that out when I was in California as a medical patient. There wasn't a lot of people that knew what cannabis was, what it can do for you, and I was like, a lot of people it was a taboo subject, especially in the Asian American community. People don't think cannabis as medicine; they think of it as a drug. It's a Schedule I drug labeled by the federal government, and we all know that's not the truth. There's no legal limit in terms of a death rate for cannabis.
Yes.
And so I was just shocked about that, and I tried to join the industry in California. As you know, it wasn't legalized in 2015. And so when I heard that Washington legalized, that's when I kind of jumped on board. And I had a sales background. I sold floors for about 5 years. Me and my partner had a business in San Jose. And so I knew sales. I knew that education was the bedrock to any foundation of every business. And I wanted to use cannabis education in terms of turning around this taboo and normalizing cannabis as medicine for folks. And that's one of the reasons why I moved to Washington.
And so then you're in Washington, and then how did you find the job online, off a website?
Networking. It's all about networking.
Yeah.
A family friend turned me on. He knew that I came from sales. They were expanding their team at BMF. At BMF, they have Liberty Reach, RSO+GO, Jackpot Seaweed at the time. And so he knew I had a sales background. He knew of my story of what happened to my foot, my accident. And so he referred me. And I had that initial conversation, and I got it in terms of just my background of cannabis and how I use it as medicine.
Nice. So when you were on, you mentioned opiates, right? And your bout with opiates through, your accident, you're prescribed all that. And so let's dive into that a little bit. How long did that last? So after you healed up and stuff, did you still battle with the addiction to opiates?
I tried. I couldn't. My renewals in terms of my medication was zero. So I couldn't get any more. I even got some from friends who also, I had a best friend who had an aneurysm, and she almost died as well. So we were kind of going through the same thing. We're kind of sharing Percocet tabs. We were like, hey, here, I know you're not feeling well, here's a tab. And then that's kind of how I got it. And I was dealing with pain. It changes you. I got depressed.
Yeah.
I wasn't the same bubbly person that I was before. And so that's pretty much how I found cannabis. And since then, Harlequin, who was my queen, every single day, that girl really helped me because it not only took away my anxiety and my pain as a CBD strain, but it also made me alert. I was still able to focus and still able to work. I did a lot of CBD topicals. So ever since I found cannabis, I didn't have to rely on a lot of painkillers anymore. And it really opened my eyes to what it can do because it was a plant. Ever since then, I just fell in love, and I just fell in love harder ever since it legalized, and I'm still here trying to focus on that.
Yeah, so that's a great story, and that's just what's beautiful thing about this plant. There's so many stories, and it's more than just a sales job for people. It's a lifestyle. It's a culture. The plant really gets into people's lifestyle in a very important way that you describe, and I can definitely relate to that.
Yeah, and honestly, as someone that works in the cannabis industry, as we all three do, it's not an easy gig to be in the cannabis industry. It's a very changing industry every single day. You never really know what's going to happen. So, so you have to be really passionate about it.
Yeah, you do. Because listen, it's not easy in a plethora of ways, right? From a marketing standpoint, you have all your challenges. From a legalized standpoint, you have all your challenges. So yeah, you do find these people like yourself that have this wonderful glow about you for being in this industry, and your love for the plant and how it's affected your life really shines through. And it's been one of my main things about when I came into the industry, that I just fell in love with the people, right? And I have it. Some people know I had a story with opiates, and I used cannabis to get me through the withdrawals and all that stuff. So some of those stories are really special to me. But wow. So you're starting in California. You have enough gumption to jump in the game in Washington. Now you're just really doing some damage out here in Nevada.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
I mean, where does that come from? Like, did you always have drive, and did you always kind of know where you wanted to go, or?
That's a good question, and I really think that stems from kind of getting out of your comfort zone. That's when you really grow and when you really meet more people and you spread your message. My energy and my motivation has always been this plant. I've never been afraid of speaking my truth and connecting with people and educating folks. And so when I had the opportunity to move, I was like, let's just go for it. You know, I'm in my 30s. I have no kids. I just kind of went for it. And I love this industry. Nevada has been amazing. The people here are amazing. It's such a close-knit, tight community. I've been in Washington. I know I love my Washington friends. They're all amazing, but it's super cutthroat. There is like 1,200 cultivations and productions and only 400 stores. So it's really kind of hard to get your product in stores. Versus here, it's more of an equal balance. And there's just so much respect for each other. And there's so much camaraderie. And there's almost kind of no competition. It's almost kind of like, okay, how can we keep bettering ourselves? You know, the competition isn't really against each other. It's more of just getting better and keep on innovating our product.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the way that I always like to think about it, and, you know, something that, shout out to Brandon from Harmonious CBD, he's the owner. Something that he always says is you know, the only person you're competing against is yourself. Every day trying to get better, and you're trying to get yourself better. Doesn't matter what other people are doing. Doesn't matter where other people are at. You're trying to get yourself better, and that's such a important thing, because I feel like the Nevada cannabis industry, you know, feels that you know that kind of culture is there, right? Where people, you know, you might sell the same product to somebody else, but at the same time, you're still trying to help each other to get better, because you realize that if your product's doing better, their product's doing better.
Yeah,
and the industry grows as a whole.
Yeah, and then not only that, it's just all the stories that, you know, all the lives that are being changed and being saved by the plant. There is this kind of like anchor that kind of ripples through the industry on a personal level that you know creates that camaraderie. You know, it's a health and wellness movement at its core, and you know it's just incredible how far it's come, and you know all the people that have given their lives to it before us, and now here we are kind of reaping, you know, some pretty good times, right, to be in the cannabis industry in Las Vegas. And let's talk about some of the products that you guys offer over there.
Perfect. Yeah. So we have Jackpot Nevada. That's our distillate. Basically 2 ingredients: pure cannabis oil with strain-specific terpenes. Up to 95% potency, very convenient, very easy to use. We have RSO+GO. I'm repping their shirt right now. It's the only RSO you can vape in the market. It actually extracts up to 7 terpenes per strain. Really, really good medicine for folks who are dealing with really severe illnesses. And we also have Chalice Farms. That's our new product coming out next month. We're doing a big launch event. It's a private invite-only event at the end of October. And it's vegan, it's certified kosher, fruit purees, it's soy-free, nut-free, dairy-free, gluten-free. Pretty much anyone could eat it as long as you're not, you know, over 21, pretty much. So we're super excited to have that. And it's also going to come in a 5 milligram dosage, a 10 milligram dosage, and a 50 milligram dosage, all in one piece. So it's pretty much for anyone, either you're a new user, a comfortable user, or a seasoned vet. You know, it kind of hits all those marks, and it tastes delicious. It's like a healthy Starburst. So super excited to have that in the market.
Yeah, and can you touch on like the whole milligram dosage? I know that at one point the state had required that, you know, it had to be individually wrapped either at like a 5 or 10, but I've seen lately more people doing like either a 50 or a 25 milligram piece. Can you touch on that?
We actually got away with it because we have it in multiple states in terms of it's launched already in Oregon, and it's done really well. And there's a scoring sheet that comes with it, so people could kind of, you know, cut it up to the dose that they would.
If they wanted to.
Yes.
That's cool.
So that's kind of how we were able to get away with having a 50 milligram in one piece, is having that scoring card in it.
That's awesome. And you said when did those drop?
October 25th
So
is a hard launch in Planet 13.
Oh,
and
nice.
then it's going to be opened up to everyone else in November. So watch out, you guys. It's coming.
Nice.
It's coming real soon.
That's great.
Yeah.
Congratulations on those products. I'm sure you guys will do great. And like my history with you guys' company, you guys do a lot of vapes, right? And
Yes.
man, vapes is everybody's talking about it.
Everyone's talking about it.
Everyone's talking about it. Let's talk about it.
Well, I mean, you said something earlier today that they're going to ban them in California. This is a major ordeal. Let's talk about it.
Yes.
What
so,
are you guys doing about all that stuff?
Yeah, and that's a very good question. And this is something I've been sifting over for the past couple days. I've read 20 plus articles about it. I've been selling vape cartridges for almost 4 years. And this has been the most concerning thing for me. People are getting sick. Massachusetts, I believe, has also banned it. We're the first to ban it. California might be up next. I saw it on Jungle Boys just right before I came in here. There's a word that it might be announced tomorrow that it might be banned. So these are very pressing issues. And I think what everyone needs to know is we have to, as people in the industry, we need to start informing our constituents about this. We need to be the front runners in education. We need to be the front runners in educating folks about it. So basically what I think about it is that we need to be a well-regulated, legalized market. Basically, a lot of the folks that are getting sick are from the black market. It's from states that aren't legalized because the prices for legalized vapes are a little bit more expensive because their safety standards are higher. The better quality ingredients, the hardware is better. But in terms of states that prohibit it, that have that prohibition on it, it's cheaper for folks, and so people need that. I think there's like a 52 billion industry in cannabis, and only 22% are legalized. So of course, if there's like a financial incentive for the black market to make money and get these products out there, they're going to take advantage of that.
100%.
So once we legalize it, once we have better standards in place in terms of lab results being standardized across the states, if we have trackability, so we have accountability for where it's coming from, we could source where the vapes are coming from. Those are two major things that would really eliminate a lot of these things.
And so, what are they saying, that what's wrong with the vapes? Why are people dying from it?
That's a very good question. I brought a prop here because I'm in theater. I did theater for about 20 years. And so I like having props. I'm kind of a nerd that way. But yeah, so it's a very recent thing, right?
Yeah.
We've had vapes for about 4 years in the legal market. And why is people getting sick just all of a sudden?
Exactly.
Like just this past 3 months in July is like
Yeah.
the first case. And so people are now circulating information about vitamin E acetate. And that is something that kind of got into the market late 2018. And it peaked in sales in July. And so once they reach that peak, they're starting to see that people are getting sick. And it kind of stemmed from LA. That the black market in LA is just so saturated.
Massive.
A lot of the oils come from there, and they're kind of distributed out. And so, companies like Honeycut, who promote vitamin E acetate have kind of gone away with all of this news. So I really encourage folks to make sure you kind of know where your vapes are coming from, make sure you buy it from a licensed dispensary, and make sure that you know your brands and know that they don't have vitamin E acetate as part of their ingredients.
And they use the vitamin E acetate as a cutter, essentially, so that the oil is not too viscous, right? So they get cannabis oil. Cannabis oil, for people that don't know, comes out pretty viscous, especially if you don't know what you're doing. Goes into the cartridge. They need something to cut it so that it will burn. So they put in the vitamin E acetate, right?
Yeah, so basically all of that.
Yeah.
And what I've read as well is that it's a thickener. A lot of the times when you get a 1 kilo of cannabis oil and you put either VG or propylene glycol, it makes it thinner.
Yeah.
But vitamin E acetate makes it thick.
Oh, really?
So it keeps it thick so that people think that it's pure oil. And it also acts as a preservative, so it keeps it lighter. It doesn't oxidize as other cutters do. So a lot of the times I tell people, it's cut with something if it kind of flows freely in the cartridge. With vitamin E acetate, it doesn't do that. So you're kind of tricked into thinking it's a pure oil.
That's crazy.
Yep,
it is crazy. Do we know these as facts, or are people just tossing this around? Are we still kind of in the dark a little bit, or?
In New York, 34 reports came out of people who got sick. All of those cartridges that they tested had vitamin E acetate in it.
And those are a mixture of cannabis and tobacco carts, or those are all just strictly cannabis carts?
It's a mixture, actually. So some people who have gotten sick were mostly either vaping really heavy, nicotine vapes, or THC vapes. They kind of do both. But most of the ones that have gotten sick had the vitamin E acetate. There's about 11 deaths so far, and I think only one case was in Oregon that was from a legalized dispensary.
And they were also putting vitamin E acetate in their product, or was it probably? There was.
It's still under investigation. Like the CDC is still kind of undergoing a lot of the investigation right now. They can't say they can't even pinpoint the cartridges yet or where it's coming from. But I think by the end of the month, they're going to have a big meeting about it, about where their stance is.
And, it's just kind of crazy to me. I've seen this on Facebook, right? It's like, yes, this is, an epidemic in the sense that it's happening so quickly and so many reports are coming about it. At the same time, though, cigarettes have been killing people for the past, how many years?
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, it's like, okay, there's been 6 deaths. Well, how many deaths have been a result of cigarettes? A ton more. Right. A ton more. So it's like, I don't know who's behind it. Obviously, vitamin E acetate is obviously a problem. Can't be in the problem. Can't be in the carts. Obviously, there are carts that everybody knows that are garbage and that are trash. Most of them coming from the black market. Some coming from the legal market, though, as we see. So I don't know. And I think the other thing is too is. The jewel pods are probably the biggest thing, right? I've seen so many. There's so many counterfeit, like regular tobacco jewel pods, and then ones that have supposedly cannabis jewel pods.
Yeah.
So it's so crazy.
Yeah. I actually wrote down the top 3 leading deaths of preventable deaths in the U.S. So number 1 is tobacco. 400,000 people die of that annually. Number 2, unhealthy diet. 350,000 deaths annually.
Yep.
Right. Number 3, can anyone guess?
Car accidents.
Close.
I was gonna say heart disease.
That was 2.
No, I don't know.
Alcohol.
Oh,
alcohol.
Yeah. So alcohol was 88,000.
None of those are cannabis, by the way.
None of those are cannabis. It's still very low. But if we do regulate, most of them will be eliminated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are very small cases. And the other thing is, too, is that, we haven't had enough research to know what's truly going on in the cannabis plant. I mean, we have an idea, but, I think there's lots of issues with people being allergic to certain cannabinoids or something, things that we're just unaware of, right?
Right.
So I think just the more research we do, the better off we'll be, right? Because we'll have the science to back those proof. Obviously, I watched a Netflix documentary not too long ago that was talking about how we used to put lead in gasoline. And that's why everything says unleaded.
Right.
Because lead's not good to be pumping out of your exhaust tank for everyone to breathe in. Scientists at that time were getting paid to essentially say that, no, it's cool. Don't worry about it. We'll just dump a little bit in there. And so that's why everything says unleaded gas now. So it's just crazy, right? Just regulations, things that, learning pains, right? It's going to happen.
Growing pains.
Yeah, growing pains.
Yeah, 1,000%. I mean, so all right. So let's shift gears here, right? So you got your launch party. When is it?
October 25th or 26th. We're still kind of nailing down the date.
Nice. So what's that going to look like? It's a private event, invite only. It's
an invite only. Industry folks, also VIP customers of Planet 13. We have a crazy creative team in Oregon. They're kind of doing a really visceral party. So it's not so much as a hard sell, but more so like an experience where you kind of come in through a tunnel being led by this guy in a cape and a mask. And it's going to be like kind of Eyes Wide Shut meets Blair Witch. So like Halloween style, but also kind of elegant or classy, but creepy.
Okay.
Well, they're going all out. Like I saw their marketing deck this morning and I was like, wow, this is truly Vegas style. You guys are invited.
Okay.
Yes.
So definitely put
So
that
if you
in your
want to
calendar.
check out our IGs on October 25th to 26th if you guys want to see what's going on.
I kind of want to wear a cape myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is costumes cool or what's the deal?
You could wear a costume. I mean,
Is it not a costume party?
I don't think so. I think it's more like come as you are. And and just experience it.
Yeah.
And just let go.
Be in it.
Nice.
That's super cool. I feel like that's happening so much more now as people are really starting to embrace these like launch parties and really get more into branding. And I think that you guys did a kind of not a redo but upgraded your product displays as everyone has saw, which kind of look like the poker table here, right?
Yes.
I've seen them. I saw it at Planet 13 and other dispensaries around town, especially up in Northern Nevada.
Yeah. And we actually also upgraded our hardware. So not only do you know if it's ours with the red tip as Jackpot and the blue tip as RSO+GO, if you look in the bottom of all our carts, it says lead-free. So making sure that we don't have any, additives or vitamin E acetate, we also make sure that our hardware doesn't have any lead in it.
And so that's an issue too, because a lot of these carts or all the carts, I'm not 100% sure, are coming from China, right? And so, or India, or a foreign country where lead is not as regulated as it is here in the U.S. So are you guys sourcing from a different source that it's like guaranteeing like a lead-free product? Is that like an option on the market, or is that something like you guys are custom doing for yourself?
We are custom doing it with ourselves. So the folks that make our technology, they've been with our company since the beginning, and they have their own factory in China.
That's awesome.
So it does come from China. However, we have full control over the hardware. So if we want to make the holes bigger, we can. If we want to change the mouthpiece, we can. We can make modifications very quickly. And so once you have that technology, we could, kind of pretty much create whatever you want.
Yeah, so that, that relationship that you guys have built with them over there, has essentially established that. And I think that's going to happen more in the cannabis industry too. I think that lead is also another big issue with the vapes. And I think a lot of people are talking about that. It
was a big issue in California, not so much Nevada. So that was pretty surprising to me. But, being part of a company that really values health and fitness and high quality ingredients and hardware, we wanted to make sure that we're putting the best out there.
Always trying to put the best out there.
Yeah.
And it is pretty good. Have you tried it?
Oh yeah, I've had
it's amazing,
a bunch of their products.
Yeah.
Bunch of their products.
Thanks for the support.
Yeah, I've had a ton of their RSO+GO. I was one of the first people that tried the shatter.
Oh, okay.
I felt pretty cool about it too.
Nice.
Yeah, our shatter is amazing.
Shatter, the RSO+GO shatter is really good.
So day to day, marketing director, big brand in Nevada.
Multiple big brands in
Nevada. Day to day, what's it look like?
Oh gosh, so I try to do time management. Social media. When I wake up, kind of post some things, phone calls, and disperse throughout the day. I have meetings throughout the day.
Meetings with salespeople or buyers, right? Yeah.
Because you're doing sales as well. Kind of, sorta.
Kind of. I started in sales, but I do manage our sales team. Shout out to Arsha Douglas, wherever you are.
Hey,
Arsha.
Yes.
Our girl.
Yeah.
We talk a lot. I also have meetings with buyers in terms of marketing events. So I mostly do marketing, but I do assist in sales when I need to. I love sales. I love talking to people, so it makes sense. And
you think, when you're training, let's just say a salesperson or managing a sales team, what do you think the most important thing is to teach them? Is that is it information, like the education side?
Yes, I'm a big proponent of education and also honesty and transparency. Like, just be honest. If you don't know the answer, I'll get back to you. And also just educating yourself about the plant, about our products in terms of how it's different, and really establishing ourselves from everybody else, kind of why you should pick our products. So yeah, basically education and being honest is what I
you come to Budtender Fight Club, up in Northern Nevada and in Southern Nevada, so definitely shows that you guys are really important with education. Oh, speaking of that too, want to give a quick shout out to Jason Sturzman. Jason Sturzman just launched a company called CanEd. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
Yes.
If you guys are looking for any information in the cannabis industry, looking to get certified, get a job in the cannabis industry, go check it out. It's on the App Store. It's CAN-ED. Go check out CanEd. Jason Sturzman. It's on Budtender Fight Club.
It's
Instagram.
Amazing. It's easy to use.
Super easy to use.
Yeah, I love that. I downloaded it a couple of weeks ago.
It's really, if you're looking to get a job in the cannabis industry, it's definitely a good resource to check out. It's not the easiest to become certified or learn the right tools to the trade, just because everything's changing so quickly, as you guys know. Just looking at the vape world today, right, from it was 2 months ago, right? Completely different world. So something to definitely check out. They're always updating the classes. They do daily posts and whatnot. So just want to give them a quick shout out. Really good product. Something to definitely check out.
The Sturts.
BFC.
But yeah, so
Listen, we appreciate you being here. We definitely want to have you back. I'm excited for your launch party.
Yes.
Let's get the plugs in. Who do you guys want to shout out and all that stuff? Is there anything that we're leaving out that we can?
No, I think we hit all of them. Thanks again for having me.
Of course.
Especially you. Culture Cannabis has been a great event for folks to get together and really be together as a community. Shout out to Granny Cart Gangsters. It's the comedy troupe I'm with in San Francisco. We do a lot of cannabis skits, trying to get more women in comedy and women talking about cannabis through that way. So a lot of fun skits.
Should we get a joke or?
Should we do a joke right now?
Do we have jokes?
Do you have a
I
joke?
wish. I know.
Yeah,
I
like
wish I was more prepared.
You have like
but
even like a small one. I used to do whenever I do Budtender Fight Club, I do a joke. I try to do some jokes, like some funny ones.
you
like,
do actually. You do knock jokes, I think, right?
I do like knock super easy ones. Like one is like what do you call Pikachu when Pikachu's high?
I don't know.
Tokemon.
Perfect.
Tokemon instead of Pokemon.
That's
Tokemon.
very heady joke there.
Very heady joke. I don't have any
Nice.
more, but
You're gonna join us at our final show of the 2019 season. We're excited to have you. And you experienced our experience before. How was it for you guys? Did you enjoy that?
Oh, it was a lot of fun. That location is amazing. I love that people can kind of just walk around, and their entertainment with the models and with the performances are always a lot of fun. So
Nice.
super excited. We'll be there October
19th.
October 19th, third Saturday of the month. It's gonna be fun. We'll have some special guests coming. It's always a good time. Come out. Last one of the season. It's gonna be lots of hype around it. Lots of people there. You're gonna see this good guy's mug there. He'll be running around with a walkie-talkie. G, who was in the studio. I don't know if he left. I don't know. G, if you're still here. G.
He disappeared.
Shout out to G.
Shout out to G. He's our guy. Instagrams. What are your Instagrams? Make sure go
Instagram.
follow all these Instagrams.
Yes. So Jackpot _Nevada, RSO_GO, Chalice Farms, and mine is a Panay Loving Pot.
There you go. I am Fulltime Tony. Follow me on Instagram at Fulltime Tony. This is _JC Coates. He has way too many followers anyway, so don't worry about following JC.
You probably already follow me.
Yeah,
hopefully.
you most likely already follow us. Check us out on Culture and Cannabis. October 19th is the next event. I think that's it.
That's it.
That's it. Thank you
catch
so
you
much
guys
for
next
being
time.
on the show.
Yes.
We'll see you guys next time. Peace out.
Thanks, you guys.